Are we live? Is it a Saturday already? Is it the end of the week already? Wait a second. Let me take a nice long sip of my water real quickly. Well, you guys get really excited about the Ahsoka show. Are we live right now? Is it already 6 o'clock? Holy crap, this day is flying by. What's up, guys? It's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars. We're going to talk about a whole lot of Ahsoka today, okay? We're going to talk about everything we know, everything we think we know, and everything that we want to see in the Ahsoka show. We're going to speculate about everything, every single character, every single thing that's going on. We're going to speculate about all of it because we are 1 month away from Ahsoka, okay? We do have some other Star Wars news going on. As usual, we got another bunch of course, other stuff going on. As always in the Star Wars galaxy, there's never a dull moment. We're going to talk about all of it. There's some new Lego sets talking about Darth Revan, actually. There's some Darth Revan news. Imagine that. Darth Revan news. So San Diego Comic-Con was, I think, like this week or last weekend. It was kind of like both almost. And there was no panel for Star Wars announcements. There was no panel for Marvel announcements, but we did get a few little tidbits here and there. We got to look at the lightsabers from the Ahsoka show, the costumes from the Ahsoka show. So we got a good look at all of that stuff as well. Austin, what is up, Austin? What is up? Mocking Brick Channel. Is it Mocking Brick Channel? Hello there. Hello there. Mike, my bro. What's up, Austin? How we doing? Okay, let me open the chat up real quick. And let's see if you guys are hyped up for the Ahsoka show. We're going to put up a poll right away. Are you excited for Ahsoka? Yes or no? Well, let's put it in 1 month. Are you excited for the Ahsoka show? Are you excited for the show? Are you excited for the Ahsoka show? Are you excited for the Ahsoka show? Let's see. Mocking Brick Channel says, when I watch these live streams, it's like watching one of your regular videos. Oh, do you watch them on the replay? Are you a replayer? Wow. We rarely ever see any of you around these parts. What's up, Mocking Brick? Mocking Brick Channel says, yes, more than anything, I'm excited for the Ahsoka show. Honestly, I'm very, very... Oh, are we still here? Okay, we're good. We're good. I think we lost it for a second there, but I think we're good. Yeah, I think a lot of the fandom when it comes to the Ahsoka show is very, very exciting. It might be one of those shows that kind of gets the whole fandom back on track, a lot like The Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2. That was like kind of a golden year of Star Wars where we got The Mandalorian Season 1, The Clone Wars Season 7, and The Mandalorian Season 2. It was like, holy crap, Star Wars is awesome again, and even the normie fans know it. I think the Ahsoka show, and maybe even going into the Skeleton Crew show, and maybe even going into the Acolyte show next year, might put us in that same sort of golden era for Star Wars as we come closer and closer and closer to Dave Filoni finally getting his own movie. Yeah. Aim Punch, what's up, Aim Punch? Ahsoka Tano is the best. Ahsoka Tano is in my top 5 for sure, usually top 3 for characters in Star Wars. But what about you guys? Is Ahsoka one of your top favorite characters ever? Or is she in the top 5 or top 10? Or where is Ahsoka on your list of favorite characters for Star Wars? It's Shin and Sabine for me. That's why you're excited for it? Aim Punch, is that why you're excited for it? Let's hope it doesn't end up sucking, but I really doubt that that's how it's going to go. Yeah, Mocking Brick Channel, here's my thing. I think this show can't suck. And I know you're going to be like, oh, well, Disney has created some iffy stuff when it comes to Star Wars. And I agree with you. The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, like there's some iffy stuff out there. Even the Obi-Wan Kenobi show with legendary characters like Obi-Wan and Anakin, not until that finale did it really come together and really do what it was there to do. But with the Ahsoka show, not only do you have Ahsoka, which is one of the most legendary characters in Star Wars, but you also have a creator named Dave Filoni. And if any of you guys have seen any of my live streams, you know I quite like this man. He, in a fully straight way. So, Dave Filoni, I have 120,000 billion% trust in because the guy is the GOAT, okay? Anything he touches turns to gold. There has literally been not a single project that he's been a part of that has flopped. Like, he wasn't a part of The Last Jedi. He wasn't a part of The Rise of Skywalker. Maybe you could argue Resistance, but I still have never watched that, and I will never watch that. Second favorite Jedi, Austin says. Who's your favorite Jedi? Who's your favorite Jedi, Austin? Aim Punch says, yes, I hope this show makes me like Ahsoka. You don't like Ahsoka, Aim Punch? Mocking Brick Channel says, but it's Dave Filoni, so I think we're in good hands. Yes, exactly. I think Sabine will be a Jedi. Well, let's start there, I guess. Why not? Let's just start right there. I was going to have some complete... I had everything pulled up and ready to go. Austin. You going to put us off course? Austin already? Just how long have we been on? 5 minutes into the stream, you're going to put us off track already? Austin. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's start with that question for the chat. Do you think Sabine will be Force sensitive? Now, we talked about this a little bit on some other streams just because of the new trailer we got a few weeks ago that Sabine says master, of course, to Ahsoka, meaning that Ahsoka did train Sabine. So it still doesn't confirm that she'll be a Force user. Like, people can get trained by other people that aren't Force users. I mean, Sabine was trained in Rebels to use the Darksaber and called Kanan Master, but was not a Force user. So my question to you guys is, do you think Sabine will be a Force sensitive? Because that would be insane. That would be absolutely insane. I don't know. What do you guys think? J1DRZ says no. Mocking Brick Channel says no. Aimed Punch says yes, though. I think she wants to be a Force sensitive, but isn't. What's up, Star Wars Politics? Wants to be a Force sensitive, but isn't. Here's the thing with Sabine, though. Do you think she really wants to be a Force sensitive? I feel like people who don't have the Force, there's not many of them that really want the Force because they don't really know what they're missing out on. And Sabine is a person who held the Darksaber, literally held the thing that could have her claim the Mandalorian throne, and she didn't even want it. She's a very... what's the word I'm looking for? She's a very, I don't know, reluctant leader. Let's put it at that. So maybe she's a little, like, maybe she wants the Force. I don't know. Shouldn't everybody want the Force at this point, really? Austin says, but then Sabine calls Ahsoka master. Yeah, no, that's what we're talking about. What? Mocking Brick Channel says, but the trailer indicates that she might try to use the Force when she's battling Balin's apprentice. Yes, so Balin's apprentice is Shin Hati, and Shin and her are fighting in this woods-y area. We're going to break down the trailers again, like, very quickly, and just going to go through them so we can talk about what we know about the Ahsoka show, because those trailers are fucking amazing. But in that trailer, they are fighting in that woods on that planet. How specific can I be? And you can tell that Sabine is, like, holding her hand out, trying to use the Force. Now, that doesn't mean she's going to be using the Force. Maybe that's just Dave Filoni messing with us as the fans, being like, hey, guys, look, I'm going to tell you that she might use the Force. I'm literally going to even say that she's calling Ahsoka master. But, yeah, no, she's not a Force user. Think about it. There's many, many, many times that Sabine could have been outed as a Force user throughout the 4 seasons of Star Wars Rebels. Sabine is I don't know, what would you guys say? Like 15, 16 years old in Rebels, maybe a little older. By now, she's probably in her mid to late 20s by the time of the Ahsoka show. So if she's not using the Force by now, I'm guessing she never will. Now, you could argue Luke Skywalker, of course, being somebody who didn't use the Force till he was about 19 years old, which, sure, I'll grant you that. However, he didn't really train all that much. Sabine trained with Kanan. Sabine was around Kanan. Luke was on a moisture farm on Tatooine. Yeah. J1DRZ says, I think she started and then she quit as the apprentice for Ahsoka, but does that mean she has the Force or not? J1. The trailers are fire. Star Wars Politics says, I really think she wants to know how to use the Force, as it may help her find Ezra. Ooh, interesting. But she can't use it, and she gives up with Ahsoka while Ahsoka was training her. Well, it seems like, at least due to the trailer, that Ahsoka is given up on Sabine, the same way that Ahsoka gave up on Anakin. She kind of feels some remorse for that, leaving the Jedi Council, or leaving the Jedi Order. In the Clone Wars, she kind of feels some remorse for that. She literally says, the same way I left Anakin is how I left Sabine. So I think she's kind of feels bad about that. So I don't think it was Sabine leaving Ahsoka. I think it was Ahsoka leaving Sabine. But you might have a point there. She might want to learn how to use the Force so she can connect to the Purgle and somehow find Ezra. Yeah, maybe. Aimed Punch says, I doubt Dave will try to subvert expectations. Oh, come on. It's Dave Filoni. All he does is subvert expectations. Think about The Mandalorian Season 1. We had no idea that Grogu even existed before that first episode. First of all, freaking genius. But even Season 2, Sabine kind of got leaked right before the show came out. I mean not Sabine, sorry. Ahsoka kind of got leaked right before the show came out. But you had no idea Boba Fett was going to be in it. You have no idea that Bo-Katan was going to be in it. You had no idea that Luke Skywalker was going to be in it. All they have done up until this point with their live action content has been to subvert expectations. So, and Dave Filoni's really good at that. He really is. Even in Rebels trailers and stuff, like, he wouldn't allow certain things to go into trailers because he didn't want to reveal too much. And he's like infamous for that. Like, he's come into the studio and said, cut that out of the trailer. You can't do that because it's so important to the story I'm trying to tell, and you just can't do that. Austin Snow says, I ship Ezra and Sabine. Well, yeah, so Ezra and Sabine have had a very complicated past. In Rebels, Ezra is like madly in love with Sabine almost the entire show, and it's not really till like the last episode where Sabine kind of reciprocates any of those feelings, and it's kind of because Ezra's matured more, but I'm sure that might happen. Yes, Austin. Mocking Brick Channel says, do you think that Disney is trying to ignore midichlorians? Again, I don't remember it being mentioned since The Phantom Menace. Well, it's mentioned in The Mandalorian, but that's, again, Dave Filoni. Do I think Star Wars is avoiding midichlorians? Yes. Okay, so I think Disney Star Wars as like a brand, Kathleen Kennedy, let's put it Kathleen Kennedy. Let's be honest and talk about who it is. It's Kathleen Kennedy. Is trying to avoid midichlorians. Yes. 100% yes. She did the dyad of the Force with J.J. Abrams. Like, anything to stay away from midichlorians. Anything to stay away from them. Because for some reason, Kathleen, J.J. Abrams, they all hated the prequel trilogy. I don't know what it was. I don't know if they're blind or stupid or dumb or stupid and dumb, but they hated the prequel trilogy, okay? So maybe they're trying to avoid midichlorians, but even Dave Filoni's like, screw you, I'm doing it anyway in The Mandalorian. And that's what he does. Dr. Pershing, I couldn't think of his name for a second there. Dr. Pershing says that he needs more blood with an M count or something like that. They always call it M in The Mandalorian, like for short, midichlorian M. So when they were taking Grogu's blood, they were talking about the number of midichlorians in his blood and how he was able to create the Force-sensitive clones for Moff Gideon because of Grogu's blood. So that might come into more of a problem further down the line when it comes to Luke Skywalker and other characters that are very Force-sensitive, that now you could take their blood and create Force-sensitives. Like, that is kind of what the plot of Season 3 of The Mandalorian set up for us here in the future, is Grogu's blood created Force-sensitive clones for Moff Gideon. And that's a fucking big deal. That's a huge deal for Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, Cal Kestis, whoever is a Jedi who is still alive. That's a big deal. Because now you could pretty much just clone anybody. You know? She's 100% evil. She's our Palpatine. Oh yeah, Austin, you're talking about Kathleen Kennedy. Of course. Of course. Aim Punch says, good point. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm full of good points, Aim Punch, aren't I? Mocking Brick Channel says, I'm glad that we are going to see the Ghost Crew in live action, but am I the only one that hopes we will see some kind of animation again? Like a Season 5, you're saying? Well, Season 5 was always kind of like the rumored project in the works for years and years now. until the Ahsoka show was announced, because then they were like, Dave, let's just do that story in live action. It's a good question, but I doubt it. At this point, I doubt it. I feel like they're gearing the animated stuff more towards kids. And I know what you're saying. Like, people always say, oh, the Clone Wars is for kids. Rebels is for kids. Even though you see Darth Maul chopping people's heads off in both. So I think they actually are trying to gear those animated shows towards kids more. I mean, you look at Young Jedi Adventures, and you could say, well, we already had Resistance. But again, and you still have the Bad Batch, I'll give you that. But I think they're shying away from more animated stuff because people don't watch it. Normie fans didn't watch Rebels. Normie fans didn't watch the Clone Wars. So characters like Ahsoka, Sabine, Hera, but even Clone Wars characters like Captain Rex, when they're brought into live action, they get a big applause and people start crying that are hardcore fans that have watched the Clone Wars and watched Rebels. But even some hardcore Star Wars fans don't even watch the animated stuff. So I think they are shying away from animated things. Yeah. Eljo Fulquez. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible with names. Sub Espanol, please. I don't know Spanish. Hola. Star Wars Politics says, do you like the idea of midichlorians? I kind of like the idea that the Force can be studied and understood by everyone. I know that's a Ryan Johnson idea, but well, yeah. I mean, midichlorians is a George Lucas creation. Midichlorians, I think, is smart to be able to kind of know the power levels almost of each Force user individually. Yeah, midichlorians is such a weird concept, and I loved season 6 of the Clone Wars just because of how deep it dives into that stuff with Yoda going on his venture to the wills of the Force and stuff like that. So I wish they explored midichlorians more, but I don't think Disney is the one to do that. Maybe Dave Filoni, of course. But yes, I like the idea of midichlorians to answer your question. Mocking Brick Channel says, but is it a bad thing to ignore midichlorians that much? I mean, it could kind of be a reset so that anyone could be able to use the Force if they believe enough in it. Well, no, midichlorians still kind of exist, but I get what you're coming from. Like, anybody could be a Force user at that point. I think, at least as Dave and George have explained it, the Force flows through everyone. Your midichlorian count, of course, is indicative of how strong of a connection you have to the Force. So when the Jedi, when they were at their peak, went to villages or remote planets where there was only few people, and they were finding Force sensitives, they were just finding people with a strong midichlorian count. And those kids would grow up training to become Jedi. Now, you don't ever hear about stories of those people not being able to use the Force. So yes, maybe I think if there's a certain amount of midichlorian count, then anybody could use or tap into the Force. Maybe that's a bold question. That's a question that could keep people up at night. The Clone Wars is awesome. The Clone Wars is awesome. I don't know about season 5 of Rebels, but just some kind of animated project. Well, I'll put it this way. I've been begging for a Luke Skywalker Jedi Temple animated show where you can involve all the main characters, just like you did with the Clone Wars. You don't have to put in that much budget into the seasons. You don't have to bring back Hayden. You don't have to bring back Ewan. You don't have to bring back any of the characters to voice their own characters because they're animated and you can do whatever you want with them. So you don't have to bring back Mark. You don't have to bring back Harrison. And of course, you can't bring back Carrie. So you could recast those characters to have new voices and do a Clone Wars 7-season show in the same animation style of Clone Wars Season 7 in Luke's Jedi Temple. And you could explain what's going on Coruscant at the time. You can explain the rise of the First Order. You can explain the rise of Snoke. You can explain the fall of Kylo Ren, or Ben Solo. Imagine all that in animation. That would be awesome. Yeah. Mocking Brick Channel says, imagine Ezra and Kanan in the Clone Wars animation style. That would be cool. But I was more thinking about like the main characters, you know? J1DRZ says that's a great idea. Yeah, thanks. I'm full of them, don't you know? I've watched Rebels and Clone Wars like 5 times over. Yeah, me too. And I remember actually back in February maybe watching Rebels over again for the millionth time because it's so legendary before The Mandalorian Season 3 because I knew it was going to be so interconnected, of course, with all the Mandalorians, the Mandalorian background, of course, in Rebels with Bo-Katan and why she gave up the Darksaber and all that stuff. So, yeah, and I can't wait to rewatch it again over this next month to get hyped for the Ahsoka show. Yeah. I know we've had Kanan/Caleb as a Padawan in the Bad Batch. That's true, too. That is true. Austin Snow says, they were just trying to save them from the dark side. Oh, you mean the Jedi when they were getting the younglings? Yeah, I guess. Kind of, in a way. Dennis, what's up? Dennis says, new beyond or a new region. What? And then he deleted it. Okay. I think I know what you're talking about, though, the new beyond. We'll talk about that in a second, yeah. Austin says, me and my dad are watching the Clone Wars right now. That's awesome, Austin. Have a blast. I still wish that Rey was a nobody. And the sad thing is, at this point, there is really no way to retcon her from being a Palpatine's granddaughter to a nobody. That's true. She's always going to be Palpatine's granddaughter, but I think that brings up the ability to turn her to a dark side user, which I know Disney won't do it, but it would be the smart way to go. All right, let's get into the Ahsoka show. Before I get still way too sidetracked, Dennis says the new beyond, a new galaxy, or in new region. Let's take Dennis's point of view right there and go to the Ahsoka show because the new beyond is heavily all about that. So let's talk about the characters that will be in the Ahsoka show as far as we know. These characters we know for a fact because we either saw them in the trailer or we just know it's been confirmed by Lucasfilm that these characters will be in Ahsoka. Okay, there we go. Ahsoka. Whoa, shocker, I know, right? So Ahsoka, of course, coming from the Clone Wars, created by Dave Filoni many, many moons ago, is now being brought into live action. Shocker. Ahsoka's in the Ahsoka show. Wow. Whoa. I know, right? Crazy. Okay, moving on. Sabine in live action for the first time. She was a character, again, created by Dave Filoni in the Star Wars Rebels show. She's going to be so cool in live action. From the trailers already, we know that she is calling Ahsoka Master. We've talked about that already a little bit. Whether or not she'll be a Force sensitive, we don't know. But where we've left off with Sabine is Ezra left her the message to kind of protect Lothal. But, of course, the war is over now. So go save him is kind of the mission. Now, we know that she still has Ezra's lightsaber. We saw this in the trailer. She still has Ezra's lightsaber, but is also wielding Ezra's lightsaber, which is kind of crazy, but I'm guessing that's because she was trained by Ahsoka. So she is wielding Ezra's lightsaber. She battles versus Shin in the trailers. There's a lot of cool stuff when it comes to Sabine. She's going to be awesome. She starts off with here's the thing with Sabine in the long hair, in the short hair, is she's got the long hair here. However, in the last trailer we watched, she cuts her hair and it's supposedly, or like makes us think at least, that she cuts her hair early on in the season, meaning this fight happens possibly in like episode 1. Like this show might start off with an absolute bang of Shin Hati coming to attack Sabine. Like almost could be opening scene is what I'm getting the vibe of, at least, you know. J1DRZ says, why are Ahsoka's head things whoops, I just lost it. One sec. Boop, 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 boo. I just lost it. What happened? Why are Ahsoka's head things shorter in Ahsoka versus the Clone Wars Season 7? Well, here's the thing with that. Obviously, I mean, Sabine doesn't look exactly the same here. Ahsoka doesn't look exactly the same here. It's animation to live action. The biggest thing when I think about this is, does this Ahsoka remind you of that Ahsoka enough to not have any, like, confusion of who the character is? It's obvious that this is Ahsoka and that is Ahsoka. Sure, her Leku are a little bit shorter, but that's for live action purposes. She can move around better. She can do the action stunts better. It's practical. It's the same way that Ahsoka in the Clone Wars looks different from Ahsoka in Rebels. It's different animation, but even look at my favorite example is Count Dooku and Palpatine. Go look at Count Dooku and Palpatine in the Clone Wars, and then you'll actually, let's just look it up for you. Count Dooku in Clone Wars. Yeah, so this is Count Dooku in the Clone Wars. Oh shit, didn't mean to do that. I mean, oh snap. Here we go. Let's there you go. That's what I mean. Count Dooku's face is not nearly that long and pointy, but points and long linear lines convey evil or convey the villain of the show. Like, look at Doofenshmirtz and Phineas and Ferb. He's all pointy, so he's evil. That's why Phineas is also evil. He's a triangle. But that's for another stream. That's for the Phineas and Ferb channel, I guess. Back to Sabine. So, ooh, Cal Kestis coming. That would be amazing. Okay, let me continue. I'll get to everything you guys are saying right now. I just want to get through all the characters that are confirmed for the Ahsoka show. So yeah, Sabine has Ezra's lightsaber. Then we got Hera Syndulla. Now people have been complaining about Hera Syndulla's appearance a little bit. I've come around to it, honestly. It doesn't bother me nearly as much as it did at first. We do actually have a better picture than this one on the right here. But it, again, conveys Hera Syndulla. I wish she kind of had the designs, and maybe she does. Actually, if you look very, very closely there, you can kind of see like the lighter color right in here. And maybe this is just a really, really bad quality picture of her, but I think it still does convey Hera Syndulla. The green eyes, the same colored skin, of course, but she's going to be in the New Republic. She's got the goggles still that she rarely wears, and of course, the Leku. Hera Syndulla. Ezra Bridger is confirmed. This is Iman Esfandi. He will be playing him in live action. We do get a first glimpse of him as the hologram that he's left for the Ghost crew at the end of Rebels Season 4, and he will be in this show. Now, whether or not he's a good guy, whether or not he's a bad guy, that remains to be seen. You guys are absolutely the best ever, and I'll watch that video thousands of times that I posted about whether or not Ezra's going to be good or bad. And you left a bunch of your comments, which is awesome. But again, in the chat right now, what do we think? Will Ezra be good guy Ezra? Bad guy Ezra? Jedi Ezra? Sith Ezra? Like, I could easily see Ezra, and here's my pitch for Darkside Ezra. When Kanan is not around, when he's injured at the beginning of Season 3, and his eyes, he's like blind and he can't like help Ezra at all, Ezra's literally killing people in cold blood. He's tapped into the AT-AT walkers, and he's throwing them off the bridge and killing people just in cold blood. It's crazy. And he goes to the dark side very, very quickly whenever he's in trouble. In Season 1, I think it is, when they're in the cave with the Grand Inquisitor and Kanan is hurt, Ezra goes dark side quick. So I think Ezra really has that dark past behind him, losing his parents at a very young age, losing his master to the Empire, and being away for 10 years where they were in the middle of a war. They were literally in the middle of a war when he left with the Empire that they were losing, by the way. So he could, for all he knows, all his friends could be dead. And those thoughts could really turn a guy to a dark side real quick. Real quick. Yeah, so Ezra. Ezra's one of my favorite characters ever. So I'm really, 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 really excited to see him come into live action. I'm so excited. Baylan Skoll. So Baylan's last name is Skoll, and Shin's last name is Hati. Skoll and Hati are actually like the fire and ice god of some mythology, something or other. I forget. I know I saw it somewhere. I just forget. It's a cool little Easter egg thing, but this is Baylan Skoll. So Baylan is played by Ray Stevenson, who passed away, I think, May 21st of this year. So this is his last performance, and I think he left us with a great one. I mean, he looks so badass in these trailers. He looks awesome, and he just is, of course, a dark side user with the orange lightsaber, but the orange lightsaber is pretty damn cool. So what we think is going on here is he was a Jedi who survived Order 66. Now, obviously, he's a lot older, so he was probably an older Jedi. He was not a Padawan when he survived Order 66. But what I think happened was he had one of the yellow lightsabers, so maybe he was a, what are they called? Jedi Temple Guards? Is that what they're called? What are the guys with the yellow lightsabers at the Jedi Temple? Are they called Jedi Temple Guards? But they have yellow lightsabers, so I think when you maybe bleed a yellow lightsaber, or maybe you didn't bleed it all the way, it kind of turns orange instead of a red. But that's just my Jedi Sentinel. Is that what they're called? That would be cool, but I don't think that's what they're called. So yeah, that's what I think Baylan is. I mean, as far as we know, we don't really know much about him at all, except for the fact that he's working with Shin, his apprentice, and Morgan Elsbeth, who we'll get to in a minute, and they're trying to find Thrawn. Got it. Baylan. He's going to be awesome. But his apprentice is Shin. Now, from what we've seen in the trailers, Shin has a Padawan braid on the back of her head, which is the same Padawan braid that like Anakin has in the prequel trilogy and Attack of the Clones and stuff. So she clearly is, or Baylan clearly is sticking with the old Jedi ways, giving his apprentice a Padawan braid. But we see Shin in the trailer fighting against Sabine in that forest. We also see her fighting against Sabine in a different setting. Maybe that's the same fight. Maybe it's not. We don't know yet. But again, she's going to be awesome. She looks badass already. It seems Baylan's more of like in a video game, if you choose the bigger build, so you swing the sword slower. Shin is like the quicker, smaller build that flies around and can swing like crazy. That's kind of where we're at with those two characters. Then you have, who I think is going very, very low under the radar, is Morgan Elsbeth. Now, I think she's going under the radar because not many people even know who she is. That's why I pulled up a picture from her in The Mandalorian Season 2 when she fights against Ahsoka Tano. She's the one who had the Beskar spear. She's the one who hired Din Djarin to go hunt down Ahsoka when we first get introduced to Ahsoka. Morgan is going to be extremely important because she's the one who creates the ship that has the ability to go from this galaxy we know to the new beyond, which is where Ezra and Thrawn are stuck. So she's making a ship to go save Thrawn. And we see that ship multiple times in the Ahsoka trailers, but we also have seen concept art designs released for that, which we'll go over later. But Morgan Elsbeth is going to be very, very important because these two characters of Shin and Baylan are working for Morgan. It's also rumored that she might be a Night Sister, but that's a whole nother thing because the Night Sisters are rumored to be originating from the New Beyond, but we haven't gotten into the New Beyond yet, so these are just the characters. But Morgan Elsbeth is going to be very, 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 very important, so remember the face. Remember the face. Then, of course, you have Grand Admiral Thrawn, who, without a doubt, is going to be the GOAT himself. I mean, Lars Mikkelsen, who voiced him in Rebels, is coming back to play him in live action. He looks so good here, and I can't wait for Grand Admiral Thrawn. He's going to be the main villain of the whole entire Mandoverse era. He's going to be the main villain of the Dave Filoni movie, which is rumored to be called Heir to the Empire. He is going to be that guy. As the great Honey Badger likes to say, he will be that guy. So I can't wait for Grand Admiral Thrawn. And not to mention the fact that look at this thing behind him over here. He loves to collect his toys. This thing is clearly some sort of rebel helmet or something like that that looks awesome. Alrighty. I really thought Thrawn died in the Clone Wars. Thrawn isn't in the Clone Wars. No, he's in Rebels. He's in Rebels. Yeah. Okay, so now we're getting into speculation land, okay? And the two biggest characters I want your guys' opinion on is these two. These two handsome gentlemen right here. What do we think about Anakin Skywalker? Now, I know he's probably more likely to be in the show because he's Ahsoka's master. If there's flashbacks, it's going to be with Ahsoka and Anakin. If there's Clone Wars flashbacks, it'll be with Ahsoka and Anakin. If there's World Between Worlds fight on Mustafar is to be believed, it will be Ahsoka versus Anakin. There could be a Force Ghost Anakin. Anakin could show up in many, many, many different ways. However, Obi-Wan is also in this picture and also in the question. Do you think we'll see Obi-Wan there as well? Because like I just said, if there's Clone Wars flashbacks, Obi-Wan was usually there. If there's Mustafar flashbacks, Obi-Wan was there. And if there might be Force Ghosts, the last time we saw Force Ghost Anakin was in Return of the Jedi. And guess who else was there? Force Ghost Obi-Wan. So I think, you already brought back Ewan for Obi-Wan. You've already brought back Hayden for Obi-Wan. Why not bring both of them back for the Ahsoka show? Maybe Hayden for a bigger role, but also Ewan. Why not Ewan? What do you guys think? Do you think we'll see both of them, just one of them? Do you guys think we'll see them at all? What do you think? Aim Punch says, getting away from Anakin and Obi-Wan cannot come fast enough. Getting away from them? You mean you don't want more Anakin and Obi-Wan? Really? Austin wants them. Austin thinks they'll be in there. Already out of water. I didn't even think I was drinking the water that much. What the hell's going on here? Dun dun! As of right now, by the way, the poll is at 100% of you are excited for the Ahsoka show, which is awesome. I love when the fandom is all in agreement of hype on something. I don't think it'll make much sense. All right, Aimed Punch, let me throw something at you. Let me throw a punch at you. Ready? So let's talk about the new Beyond. Scratch everything I just said. Not everything. Just the last 20 seconds. Let's talk about the world between worlds. The world between worlds is a thing that was invented, created by George Lucas. Not George Lucas. Dave Filoni, the apprentice of George Lucas, himself. And he created it in Star Wars Rebels to bring back his character of Ahsoka, really. But it's as explained to us by Palpatine himself, it's a conduit between the living and the dead. It's a way for us to, kind of talk to the dead almost. When Ezra goes into the world between worlds for the first time, you hear people that were before him, like Yoda, or I guess Yoda's still alive. People that were before him, like Qui-Gon. You hear people that are still alive but nowhere near him, like Obi-Wan and Yoda. But you also hear people that aren't even born yet, like Ben Solo as Kylo Ren and Rey. So the world between worlds is kind of a conduit between the living and the dead, but also like a time travel device almost. In a way, it's a time traveling device, but it's not. Because things that have already happened, that are destined to happen, cannot be changed. And that's what the Ahsoka show is going to explain to us through the world between worlds. Now, this is all kind of just speculation right now. It is coming from very valid sources that the world between worlds will be in this show, but we don't know to what extent. We don't know if they're actually going to go into the world between worlds or if it'll just be mentioned. But there has been a ton of rumors about Ahsoka going back in time to try and change different events and finding out that they can't be changed because they were destined to happen. And one of those specifically is the Mustafar fight. And that means Ahsoka will take the place of Obi-Wan and fight Anakin on Mustafar, trying to change the outcome of the future, trying to stop Anakin from falling to the dark side, but realizing that it's destined to happen. Another one is she's going to go to before Thrawn and Ezra disappear and kill Thrawn, but again, it was destined to happen, so it doesn't really happen. I know. Crazy. However, it is going to be very, very cool and also allows us to go back in time, allows us to have flashback scenes, allows us to see Anakin and Obi-Wan again. So it makes sense. Also, Force Ghost Anakin. Here's my other argument if you think the world between worlds one's too far-fetched. Force Ghost Anakin. We've only seen Force Ghost Anakin one time ever in Star Wars, and it's the biggest disgrace ever. He's the fucking chosen one. And we've only seen him once. One time. And it's in Return of the Jedi in 1983. Yeah. So, Force Ghost Anakin. I think they are going to have to explain where he's been this entire time, why he didn't come around during the sequel trilogy, why he hasn't been around since the original trilogy. Where is Anakin's Force Ghost? It makes no sense and it needs to be explained. However it's explained, I think Dave Filoni is the guy to do so, and I think he will do it. But there is always the off chance that we get to see that happen in the Ahsoka show. Mocking Brick Channel says, if this show succeeds, it's considered a Dave Filoni win and not a Kathleen Kennedy win, right? I mean, yes, you're 100% right, but as the company's going to see it, I don't know. I feel like every success that the Mandalorian has had, every success that Dave Filoni has had with Rebels, with the Clone Wars season 7, I feel like Kathleen Kennedy just takes all the credit for it. And although she has okayed those shows, she has been the one who put Dave and John together. A bag of flour could have done the same thing. Literally, like anything. Sitting in a chair could have done the same exact thing. Like, it's crazy, but I hope that you are incorrect. I hope you're correct. Kathleen Kennedy does not get any of the praise for Ahsoka being a success. Anthony says, I've had a wish for years that someone in the Star Wars vaults, there are alternate and unseen footage of Alec Guinness portraying Obi-Wan that'll be used and seen in Ahsoka. Wow, that would be crazy. I mean, there must be like deleted scenes or outtakes, bloopers, or something like that from the original trilogy that exists somewhere, like you're saying, in the Star Wars vault that has Alec Guinness. And maybe they're not able to do that. I don't know. Maybe. Star Wars Politics says Force ghosts are at the mercy of the cosmic force. If he doesn't show up in sequels, it's because the Force did not allow it. But why? Interesting. Maybe it's because of Palpatine. Maybe it's because Rey is a Palpatine, so he couldn't really reach out to her because she is like a Sith Lord. I don't know. That is fascinating. And maybe it's because Luke cut himself off from the Force. I guess you could explain it like that. Like that. But then wouldn't... oh yeah, he does see Yoda. You're right. Luke did. He saw Yoda. But that's when he already tapped back into the Force. Huh. Maybe we're onto something here. Maybe you have to be tapped into the Force, but also the light side of the Force to be able to see Force ghosts, something along those lines. Obi-Wan doesn't see Qui-Gon because he's not tapped into the Force. Luke doesn't see any Force ghosts because he's not tapped into the Force, and then when he does tap into the Force, he sees Yoda. Rey saw Luke. Oh, fuck. Damn it. There goes that theory. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just, you know what the theory is? It's stupid writing of the sequel trilogy. That's why Anakin didn't show up. It's because J.J. Abrams hated the prequel trilogy. That's why. Anthony says, yes, of course, Kathleen has been given credit for bestowing both his newest titles and the Ahsoka project on him. That's true. She's been given credit. Kathleen Kennedy generously gave Dave Filoni the ability to create Ahsoka. She generously gave Dave the ability to make a movie. Yeah, Kathleen, you suck. Okay, back to Ahsoka. Yeah, back to Ahsoka. Okay. But I hope Dave can make sense of it. I do hope Dave can make sense of Force Ghost Anakin, and I think he will in the Ahsoka show. Boom, Austin, back to Ahsoka. Here we go. Yeah, the Force Ghost thing's a huge plot hole. It is, but I think it can be explained. Guys. All right, let me, should we watch the trailers? Do you guys want to watch the trailers again? Or should we talk about the New Beyond? Trailers or New Beyond? Trailers, New Beyond. Trailers, New Beyond. Trailers, New Beyond. Trailers, New Beyond. Mocking Brick Channel says, if we see flashbacks, I hope we see Anakin and Obi-Wan in their Jedi armor. Oh my god, Clone Wars armor, Jedi, Anakin and Obi-Wan? Yeah. Sign me up. Yes, please. Oh my god, imagine the watch parties. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just having like future flash forwards. I'm seeing the future right now. We're sitting right here, because I never leave this chair ever, even when I turn off the camera. And I'm sitting right here, and we're watching it together, and we're like, oh! Yep, true story. True story. Okay, where was I? Aim Punch says, I think this mysteries are better than to have the answers about the Force ghosts. Same goes with the Chosen One prophecy in the World Between Worlds. Yeah, I think a little mystery is always some good things. I think having the mystery behind certain aspects of Star Wars is always good. That's why you don't want to see in Obi-Wan Season 2, you don't want to see, like, even though we want to see Obi-Wan learn how to become a Force ghost from Qui-Gon, we don't want to see it, you know? Like, we didn't need the Obi-Wan Kenobi show because the mystery in that time period of what Obi-Wan does, how he learns to become a Force ghost, the mystery is what kind of keeps it alive, you know? But getting some stuff explained is not the end of the world. And I think the World Between Worlds needs to be explained because right now it's like a time travel device and doesn't really make sense. Star Wars Politics says, New Beyond don't get a copyright. Yeah, because of the trailers. Yeah. We've been pretty good about it, knock on all the wood in the fucking universe, that we haven't been copy struck on this channel just yet. I mean, we do pause all the time when it comes to the trailers, and that's what we would do anyway. And we will inevitably watch those trailers regardless. But let's talk New Beyond first, since everybody wants to so badly. First, Anthony says, however, as Mike just said, it was really George Lucas who both sought out and hired Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau around 2005, which is why they worked so well together in Mando. That's true because Jon Favreau is the voice of Vizsla. It's not Paz Vizsla. Paz Vizsla is in The Mandalorian. Who does he voice in the Clone Wars? Who does Jon Favreau voice in the Clone Wars? Somebody help me out. Somebody help me out, please. And yes, of course, Dave Filoni worked on the Clone Wars as well. Pre-Vizsla. Thank you. Have you seen the Pixel Joker 95 Kenobi trailer fan edit? I think so. Was that the one where he like actually changed some of the scenes in the backgrounds and stuff like that? I think I saw that one. Yes, I think I did. I did watch Kai Patterson's cut of it, like he turned it into a movie, and I thought that was honestly way better than the show. But yeah. Aim Punch says the World Between Worlds is basically a Deus Ex, I don't know what that means. Machine. What? Machina? I'm so confused. And I'm scared of that. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. I feel stupid. Okay. I swear, the day that comes out, I will watch the hell out of it. That remake, recut, will be more canon than any... Wait, what? What are you guys talking about? Oh, the fan edit for the Kenobi show. Oh, yes. He's actually working on, like, the entire thing. Yes. It's a retcon waiting to happen. The World Between Worlds. I think Dave Filoni will make it so that it's not. I know Dave Filoni trusts it, you know? Yeah. The Machine of Gods? Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, let's get into this New Beyond. So what is the New Beyond? Simply stated, the New Beyond is a new space outside of the Star Wars galaxy. So if this is your Star Wars galaxy, this is the core of the planets, this is the mid-rim, this is the outer rim, this is the unknown regions. It all exists in here. Exegol, Tatooine, Coruscant, Endor, all of it exists inside of here. The New Beyond is outside of this. It exists outside of the Star Wars galaxy. Now, why would we be going there? Well, Thrawn and Ezra at the end of Rebels Season 4 go to the New Beyond. That's where they have been for the last 10 years. Now, we don't know how to get to the New Beyond. The only way we do know is by the Purgle and by a Force user, aka Ezra using the Purgle to take him and Thrawn to the New Beyond. So we do see Purgle in the Ahsoka trailer, in the newest one, and Sabine and Ezra are trying to go to this Purgle and maybe use the Purgle to get them to the New Beyond. But we also found out recently, due to leaks and rumors, so we don't know if they're 100% true or not, but we have found out that Morgan Elsbeth, the reason she was on the planet Corvus, which was the planet they were on in Mando Season 2, is because she was trying to create this ship that can take them to the New Beyond. Now, we don't know what, like, that means. Like, can you just go through hyperspace easy, simply, and get to the New Beyond? Or is it like some hard place to get to? Exegol was hard to get to, but that's kind of because it was hiding behind like what was it even? Like a supernova or something? I don't even know. It was hidden. It was a hidden planet in the unknown regions. However, the New Beyond is a completely different place in space. This is also supposed to be where the Night Sisters originated from. Now, the Night Sisters are from the Clone Wars. The Lady Talzin is the queen of all the Night Sisters. The Night Sisters use magic instead of the Force. So they kind of have this cool ability. If you play Jedi Survivor or Jedi Fallen Order, you know the character of Marin is a Night Sister. And in Survivor, you see her use her magic, and it's really, really cool. But the Night Sisters don't use the Force. So it's kind of strange that they use magic and nobody else in the whole entire galaxy does. So the Night Sisters originated from somewhere outside the galaxy, and that's why that makes sense. They originated from the New Beyond. So that means the New Beyond not only has magic users, but also has new Force users, people who use the Force in different ways. It pretty much opens the entire Star Wars galaxy to an endless amount of cool new things, cool new ships, cool new Force abilities, magic, but also new threats. You could use the New Beyond to bring in the Yuzon Vong. You could use the New Beyond to bring in these brand new Sith Lords or different types of Sith Lords or whatever you want to do. The New Beyond opens up the Star Wars galaxy to frickin' everything. Literally anything could happen with the New Beyond. So that's kind of New Beyond 101 as far as we know it to be. It is going to be awesome. It's going to be so cool. So, yeah. Oh, don't worry about not getting spoilers here. I'm not going to spoil like the storyline for Jedi Survivor here. We try to avoid that as much as possible. But if I do say some sort of like spoiler for Jedi Survivor, it is still too fresh. Like, it's a few months out. It's a video game. It takes people forever to play it. I will warn you if I'm going to spoil it for you. Don't worry about that. Where was I? J1, I'm losing my voice, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. J1DRZ says, I thought they were in the unknown regions. Well, no. So it is this New Beyond, at least as far as we know. Again, leaks and rumors have been wrong before. However, these are very, very reliable sources. They usually have like a 99% yes, this is true rate. So take it with a tiny grain of salt, but I do believe the New Beyond is an actual place. It's not the unknown regions. The unknown regions are a different place. Exegol exists in the unknown regions. This is a completely different place. Completely different place. Star Wars Politics says, do you think Kanan told Ezra to go to the New Beyond for a reason? Well, don't you have like a scene in Rebels where the Loth Wolf of Kanan, Doom, tells Ezra something that we don't see on screen or something like that? Or don't hear. Maybe he does tell him to do that. Tell him to go to the New Beyond. Maybe that's something that was planned. We don't know. We don't know. Aimed Punch says, I think the New Beyond as a concept is fascinating. Me too. I think we need something new when it comes to Star Wars, especially moving past the sequels after we just did Palpatine over again. I think we need something new, and the New Beyond fucking opens the door to anything. Literally unlimited possibilities with new Force users, magic users, new Sith, new threats like the Yuzon Vong. Like, you could do anything. Even the Rakata could have originated from there. Like, anything's possible. Anything is awesome. Everything is awesome. Austin says, I hope Ahsoka will connect through Mordai's when she warns her Clone Wars self. Oh, you mean the owl she has, Mortai or whatever the owl's name is? Yeah, maybe she does that, but I doubt it. Again, that would be messing with time, and I don't really think that they want to do that. Mocking Brick Channel says, what do you think about the Purgle? I love the Purgle. I mean, to have beings in space that have the ability to go through hyperspace. It also explains the discovery of hyperspace. If you saw a Purgle go blast into hyperspace, then yeah, you're gonna be like, what the hell just happened? And then try to discover hyperspace. Now, hyperspace was not really invented all that long ago in the Star Wars timeline. There was a time before hyperspace. So, yeah, I mean, the Purgle are very, very cool. I like those types of creatures that exist in space. I mean, you see a giant worm type creature in Empire Strikes Back in an asteroid that they land on in the Millennium Falcon. So George himself even created these certain types of beings that exist in space. So Purgle are just a very cool add-on to the thing. Plus they're a space whale with octopus legs. I mean, come on. Anthony says, Mike, I wonder if Tanalorr is kind of a part of the New Beyond, or near the outskirts of it. Rebuilt ships, the Nihil. Is it the Nihil or the Nile? I've been always just calling him the Nile, but one of the audiobooks that I read was like, the Nihil. And I was like, geez, whoa, calm down there. I'm just going to call him the Nile. The Nile have a ship that is of that nature in the High Republic. Yes. I don't know. I think Tanalorr is in the Star Wars galaxy. It exists in the Outer Rim. It's just a hard place to get to because it was like behind or inside of like this nebula or something like that. I forget how it was explained. You haven't finished Fallen Order yet? Get to work. Jeez. Austin says, let me guess. It is hard. No. Okay. Moving on. Sorry. Okay. No bringing back Palpatine. Yes. No, please. No. No more Palpatine has returned. Enough of that. Okay. Mocking Brick Channel says, do you see Grogu being one of the stones on the temple in the World Between Worlds? Do you see Grogu being one of the stones on the temple? Oh, yeah. I made a whole video about that. Yes. Oh, let me pull that up. Grogu in Rebels. So Grogu is actually in Rebels. I made a whole video about this. Just based off of this. Now, it's not confirmed to be Grogu himself, but when you look at this, I mean, come on. We talked about this maybe live, I don't remember, but I know I made a whole video on it. So this is from Rebels. Sabine, when she's in the room with that Empire guy, when has all the holograms up from all the pictures that they have from the World Between Worlds. And this is behind her. So sitting on like what looks to be almost like the Seeing Stone or something kind of similar, you have Grogu, or what looks to be Grogu, because there's only so many members of the Yoda species. So it's either Yoda or Grogu or Yaddle, but as far as we can predict, it's probably Grogu. And this might be showing something from the future, it might be showing something from the past, and maybe it is Yoda, but he is looking up to some entity in like some sort of sun up here. We don't really know what's going on there, but it's a very, very cool Easter egg if, in fact, Dave Filoni made that a thing long before. Like, Grogu was invented at this time. He was probably in the writer's room, at least, and this was probably around the time when The Mandalorian Season 1 was being written and or filmed. So if Dave Filoni was that good to take the character of Grogu that they were just now creating in The Mandalorian that hadn't even been released yet, and putting him into Season 4 of Rebels, that would have been insanity, but it is more likely that it is Yoda. But again, it's a cool little Easter egg, and I hope it is actually Grogu, because that would be insane. Grogu is the future. Let's put it that way. Disney is, if they know one thing, it's how to make money. That's such a lie. They are losing so much money. But if there's one thing that they know, it's how to really take one character and try to make the most money out of that character. So Grogu is making them money, so they're just going to keep giving us Grogu stuff. Just keep giving us Grogu stuff. And I'm not opposed to that as long as the story is good, as long as it's actually further developing the story and Grogu's not just a waste of time. But yeah, no doubt you saw The Mandalorian. Yes, I saw The Mandalorian. What do you mean? Oh, the Mandalorian in the picture, you mean? Yeah, that's the thing. It could be what Austin, I think, is talking about here. Is this picture could, like, the person flying here? Whoops, let me pull it up. The person flying here next to him could have been Din Djarin, like, flying with a jetpack or something like that. Could be a Mandalorian or something like that. I don't know. It could be. Could be. Could be. Could be. Could be. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Oh man, I forgot about Grogu. How do you forget about what? Grogu's the goat, okay? The goat. All right, let's go over these trailers because I know we've all watched the trailers. So I know we've seen the trailers. Mike, we've already seen these trailers. Shut up. We're watching them. Okay? And you're going to enjoy it. By the way, somebody made this fan trailer or something like that, and it is literally the second thing that comes up when you look up Ahsoka trailer. So good on them, but really made me upset because I wanted to see a new trailer and it's just a fake trailer and I was upset, okay? I was upset. All right, so let's watch the trailer from 3 months ago that we got at Celebration first. First things first, let's watch this trailer. Dum, 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 dum. Mike, you are the GOAT. Austin, you are the GOAT, but thank you very much. Star Wars Politics says, how big do you think the world between worlds will be in this show? That's a good question. That's a great question. I think like the first half of the show will kind of focus on the world between worlds. Not like the whole first 4 episodes will be world between worlds, but I think it will have a very good or big like pull on the whole first half of the season. It will be a big instrument as explaining to what's going on because Dave Filoni has said many, many, many times that you won't have to watch Rebels, Clone Wars, even The Mandalorian to know what's going on in Ahsoka. So I think The World Between Worlds is going to be a good explanation to who the character of Ahsoka is, if this is the first time you're meeting her, how she came to be. Again, if this is the first time you're meeting her, it will explain what happened at the end of Rebels because she's going to go into The World Between Worlds and relive that. And she's going to go back into the world between worlds and go to the Jedi Temple. And it will explain that she was Anakin's Padawan. It will explain all this other stuff. So I think they'll use it kind of as an explanation device almost as to explaining Ahsoka. Star Wars Politics says, do you think they are retconning the white robes? I've heard they will show up at the end, but that didn't match up with the timeline. I think they are retconning the white robes. Maybe it's like the end of this whole thing. Like end of the Dave Filoni movie is white-robed Ahsoka. Because, let's be honest, the same scene that's the epilogue of Star Wars Rebels is in the trailer that we're about to watch. So, and Ahsoka's not wearing the white robes. So, I don't know. It still remains to be seen if we'll ever see white robe Ahsoka or if that is, in fact, being retconned. Now, this wouldn't be the first time that Dave Filoni has retconned something, but it will probably be the first time that he's retconned himself, if I'm correct. Yeah. Austin says, I've loved Ahsoka from the beginning. Oh my God, she's so good in the Clone Wars. Her arc is probably one of the greatest arcs of any character. I mean, only other than maybe arguably Anakin, of course. But she goes from the annoying, bratty little kid to this awesome Jedi Master or Jedi Padawan, I guess, to a gray Jedi pretty much because she leaves the Order, to Fulcrum and she's awesome in Rebels, to where we have her now, where she's literally like this balanced Force user who's seen so much, been through so much, learned from almost all these major characters, Obi-Wan, Anakin, all of them. It's wild. She's such a good character. Yeah. All right, let's watch this trailer. This is the first trailer that we got back in April, back at Star Wars Celebration. And there's a lot in here that we've already broken down, but we're going to talk about it a little bit more. She's a great example for a strong female character done right. Yeah, that is a fact. Like, when people talk about, oh, they throw too many female characters in there. Oh, Rey is not good, blah, 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 blah. Look at Ahsoka. Ahsoka is a fan favorite character. Everybody loves her because she is such a good character. Like, her story arc is fantastic, and she's a female. Nobody's like, oh, I hate Ahsoka because she's a female. No, you don't, because she's an amazing character. It's like saying I hate Anakin because he's a male. No, you don't. He's an amazing character. Like, yeah, exactly. So we'll put on some volume here, just for fun. So it starts off at this destroyed-looking temple kind of thing. Now remember this. Remember this place with the white columns and the white floor. Remember this place because it's in the next trailer as well, being blown up. It's kind of crazy, but this is where I think she's going to go into the world between worlds right off the bat. And this might be the opener to the show. I know I said it might be Shin versus Sabine earlier, but I might have changed my mind since then.
Something dark.
Don't lag on me like this. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. If I start lagging, you guys tell me, okay? This is the coolest thing ever, by the way. She's about to force her lightsabers into the ground and then make a circle, and it's the coolest thing ever. Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like a destroyed Jedi temple, but if we rewind just a clip right there, boom. Here you go. You got all the World Between Worlds markings on the walls. You got all this other stuff, and it looks to be a Jedi temple. And that's why we think this is where she's going into the World Between Worlds. It seems like Ahsoka is in the mind frame of, I've messed up. I messed up leaving the Jedi temple. I messed up with leaving Anakin. I'm the reason he turned to the dark side. This, that, and the other thing. She seems like she is all types of messed up. And she feels like she's messed up. So she's trying anything and everything to get back and fix everything. That's kind of where I think we're going to start out with Ahsoka. And she's going to these different Jedi temples to look for a way into the World Between Worlds. And maybe this half-destroyed one on this planet, because most of it's underground, will be that entrance to the World Between Worlds.
I sense it.
I love the red Lucasfilm, by the way.
This is a new beginning.
So we see this scene in the second trailer too, where this is where she's cutting her hair. This is in Ezra's house, or Ezra's house on Lothal.
New beginning.
A Loth cat, awesome. Sabine with the long hair. So this is when she comes back out of the hole. You can see, oh well, you can't see because my head's in the way, but there's a hole still on the ground right there. So this is when she jumps back out of the hole that she jumped in a few seconds ago. And she's being attacked by these people. Now, these are the same robots, I believe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. The same robots that were working for Morgan Elsbeth on Corvus in Mando Season 2. So they are, of course, being sent by Morgan Elsbeth, who is trying to hunt down Ahsoka. Now, Ahsoka maybe has just come out of the World Between Worlds. We're not sure. Usually, trailers give you only clips from the first couple episodes. So I feel like we can't be getting clips from anything later than episode 3 or something like that. Maybe the Thrawn scenes are from later, because I don't think we'll see Thrawn until later, but I don't know. I don't know. Love the love Lothal in live action. Lothal's a cool place.
Some war.
Then we get our first look at the Phantom 2, I believe it is, where we get Hera and Chopper in here, but they're chasing something now. Hera Syndulla, Chopper. Everybody loves Chopper, right? Chopper's got to be a top 5 droid easily. He's up there with R2, C-3PO. Easy. He's one of the best. Then we get our first look at Baylan and Shin. So this is Baylan played by Ray Stevenson. We talked about him earlier. And his apprentice, Shin, who is attacking a New Republic base, or ship, I should say. So this is supposed to be the epilogue scene. Now, to Star Wars Politics' point, are they retconning this scene? Sabine has long hair, and it's the same ship being escorted by 2 X-Wings, which is the same exact scene, yet Sabine has the long hair in this scene. Maybe they're trying to mess with us, maybe they're trying to do something here, but I don't know. Then we get our first look at Sabine and Ahsoka together, and she says it's been a while. So, although it's only been like 10-ish years, it seems like Sabine and Ahsoka have been away from each other for a long, long time.
It's been a while. Things have changed.
And you can tell, like, she does not look happy right here. She looks upset. Something's wrong.
I started
Mon Mothma. Cool little Easter egg there.
hearing whispers.
That was the first look we ever got at Thrawn from behind. But he's in the ship that Morgan Elsbeth creates for him. So I'm guessing this is later on in the season.
About Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
So this, remember this place as well. This is the forest planet that we're going to see many, 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 many times over these two trailers. So the forest behind her, you have to remember that. Remember it, remember it, remember it, remember it, remember. Get in the chopper. Good one. And this is the ship that Morgan Elsbeth was creating on Corvus. This is the ship that is going to be able to go to the New Beyond, as far as we believe, because we see Thrawn in it just a few seconds earlier. This is also the same planet with those trees. So the same planet I just told you to remember, this is the same planet, okay? Keep that in mind as we go into the second trailer, but this is also Ahsoka versus Baylan inside of this weird-looking thing, but we don't know what it is. It looks like a construction site with all this stuff, lights in the background, weird things going on here. We don't know. Maybe it's an entrance to the world between worlds. We have no idea, but they're about to fight.
We have to prepare for the worst. The Jedi fell a long time ago. There aren't many
We get our first look at Ezra in live action. This is the message that he sends to the Rebels cast, of course.
left.
We get this weird Inquisitor that people have still been trying to guess who the hell it is for freaking months now, and we still don't know. He has a name now. It's like Mordock or something like that, or Morok. But I still don't think that's what his name's going to be. I think it's clearly a character that we're supposed to know from before, but we don't know.
Perhaps it is time to begin again.
I mean, yeah. I mean, come on. Come on. If that doesn't get you hyped up, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, go check your brain. Check your brain. Check your brain. Yeah. Yeah. Star Wars Politics says, I feel like Dave would tell us if he was going to retcon the white robes, though. Fans have too high expectations. I agree. I think he'll tell us if that will be retconned at some sort of convention or something. Mockingbreak Channel says, I love Lothal in live action. Yeah, Lothal looks great. I mean, we're going to see some more shots of it in the second trailer, but yeah, it looks amazing. I think the opening scene will be Baylan and Shin breaking Morgan Elsbeth out of New Republic ship. That's possible, but we don't really see Morgan Elsbeth actually get taken away by the New Republic, because you have to remember, Ahsoka's by herself, and we never see her walk out with Morgan Elsbeth. Maybe Morgan Elsbeth escapes at the end of Mando Season 2. We don't really know, but maybe. Aimed Punch says, Dave is in an interesting place. Can't wait to see what he will do with so many people having so much breakneck hope in him. What? Breakneck? I don't know. I don't know the reference. And then he sends Shin with the heart emoji. Yeah, no, I think Dave Filoni's in his element right now. I think he's working with all the characters. He knows so much that it's going to be amazing. Austin Snow says, our favorite little menace, Chopper. Yeah, Chopper's the best. Get to the chopper, exactly. Swagger Like Us, what's up? Swagger says, sup, friends? Just got home. My bad. Don't worry about it. Welcome to the party. I love high expectations. I love high expectations? What? Palpatine voice? I don't remember Palpatine saying that, but yes, agreed. Star Wars Politics says, what is after Din and Grogu leave Corvus? Shin comes to rescue Morgan Elsbeth from Ahsoka. Don't we see her on a forest planet? Yes, we see them on a forest planet, but I don't think that is Corvus. Now, maybe it is, but it might be a different planet entirely. We're going to see that planet again in this next trailer, and I'll explain to you what I think it is. But yeah, we don't see Morgan Elsbeth escape. We don't see Morgan Elsbeth get captured, really. So there's a lot of question marks there when it comes to what happened with her character. Aimed Punch says, Shin can rescue me any day. All right, let's watch the second trailer. Let's watch that second trailer. So this one, that one has 15 million views, by the way. This one only has 8 million views, but that's because it was only released 11 days ago. And that one was 3 months ago. So, yeah. This one opens with a Imperial ship coming upon a New Republic ship. And maybe this is what you're referring to, Star Wars Politics, where this is when Shin and Baylan are breaking Morgan Elsbeth out of this transport. I don't know. I don't know. It's possible. And that's maybe, oh, wow, maybe you're right, because that's probably where we see Baylan in the trailer when he's coming down the hallway and he's just beating the crap out of. Wait, this might be the opening scene right here.
War is inevitable. One
They just landed on this ship, Baylan and Shin,
must destroy.
and they're just killing all these New Republic people to get to Morgan Elsbeth. You guys might be right. You guys might be dead on this one.
In order to create.
Imagine it just starts like that. It starts with Baylan and Shin. Baylan gets a hallway scene and they save Morgan Elsbeth. Are you kidding me?
We are no Jedi.
So you're telling me that Ahsoka is going to start like this? What? Are you kidding me? Holy shit. That would be insanity. Insanity. It just starts like this because this is where they landed. They were talking to this guy with the white hair right here. That's where they landed. It's going to open with Shin going down the hallway, killing a bunch of people, and him telling this guy that they're not Jedi and just killing him. And then he gets a hallway scene, and then they save Morgan Elsbeth. Holy crap. This is why we do the live streams. This is what it's for. We just cracked the code using all of our minds together. Just kidding. You guys did all the work. I take no credit at all, but I'm going to take credit for it because I'm the GOAT. This is crazy. This is wild. I hope if it doesn't open like this now, I'm going to be upset. Just kidding. I'm not going to be upset because this show is going to be insane and these scenes are going to be in it regardless. Wild.
I started
That's her in the same Jedi Temple from the last trailer.
hearing whispers.
So this is in that same place that she drops down. Remember when I told you to remember that first planet with the white columns and stuff? When she drops down into the World Between Worlds room, this is what's going to be there, and that's why I think this is where she's going into the World Between Worlds. The last time and the only time we've ever seen anybody go into the World Between Worlds is when Ezra did in Star Wars Rebels Season 4, when the mural of the daughter and the father and the son, he altered the mural where the daughter's hand goes like this. The Loth Wolves walk over, make a portal. This is the daughter. Now there's something gold on her chest. She's got her hand up again like this. And I think something similar is going to happen where she gets through the World Between Worlds like this.
Of Thrawn's return as
Same look at Thrawn back
heir
here.
to the Empire.
So this is the planet with the woods, the forest in the background. I think the forest edge is probably along this edge up at the top here, and this is the planet. So this is where this Stonehenge-looking thing is. This is where Baylan and Ahsoka were fighting in the last trailer with the construction zone type looking stuff there. But as you can tell right now, the construction zone stuff is not there yet. So this is when they're first coming upon it. So this is maybe Corvus, but maybe a different planet as well.
What happens when we find Thrawn?
So this is the same place, but it might be a little bit later because Morgan Elsbeth is with them. Morgan Elsbeth is with them. But what if they go straight from that transport and take Morgan Elsbeth straight to here?
Power. Such as you've never dreamed.
So this is kind of crazy. So Shin says, what happens when we find Thrawn? And Baylan says, power like you've never dreamed.
What happens when we find Thrawn?
Power.
But what's even crazier is Morgan Elsbeth, maybe because she's a Night Sister, has the ability to use magic or something along the lines here to open up whatever this star map or whatever this thing is. She has the ability to open it up.
Such as you've never dreamed.
And this is insane.
Such as you've never.
That's kind of dark, but that's where I could pause it. So it looks like maybe a star map, maybe something to do with the world between worlds. I don't know yet. Maybe it's a star map to get to the new beyond. We don't know. We don't know.
Dreamed.
I've spent most of my life fighting a war.
Then we get Harrison Dula and Chopper again, but Hera's talking to the New Republic saying she's spent her life fighting in wars. Clone Wars, then the Rebel versus Empire War.
That's why I'm trying to convince you to help me prevent another one.
She's pleading to the New Republic, pleading to Mon Mothma and the New Republic to help stop Thrawn. By the way, Gonk droid, boom, there you go.
You and I both know who can help you with this.
She's still just as stubborn as ever.
I bet your master found you difficult at times.
Anakin never got to finish.
First reference of Anakin. So she's saying that Sabine is stubborn, and Hera's like, well, you were stubborn. I'm sure you were stubborn to your master, and that's the first reference to Anakin. She outright says Anakin didn't get to finish my training.
My training. I walked away from him, just like I walked away from Sabine.
She walked away from Anakin just like she walked away from Sabine, meaning she trained Sabine.
You never made things easy for me.
Master. There you go. Somebody brought up some two great points here, first of all.
Sabine. You never made.
First of all, what is this? Is that the same planet we were talking about with the Stonehenge? What are they looking at here? We don't know.
Made things easy for me.
And this might be the first, like, to go from R2 units to BB-8 units. This might be like an in-between kind of type of thing. It's also very accurate to the action figure toy that was released as R2-D2 back in the late 70s. But this might be a BB-8 type in-between BB-8 and R2 unit. So it might be like the in-between to get to BB-8.
Master.
As a Jedi, sometimes you have to make the decision no one else can.
We get to hear Ezra's speech from the end of whatever. But we also see this. Now, this is Sabine cutting her hair almost exactly the same as Kanan cuts his hair when he's about to die, when he's about to sacrifice himself.
But I'm counting on you to see this through.
Nice haircut.
So this is the scene that Star Wars Politics and myself are talking about. The epilogue of Star Wars Rebels takes place near this mural. Ahsoka shows up to pick up Ahsoka to go find Ezra.
But I'm counting on you
And
to see this through.
here we go. This is Ahsoka, but she's not in the white robes. Not in the white robes as she shows up.
Haircut.
She's in front of the mural, same way at the end of Star Wars Rebels. Now maybe this exact scene happens again. But as of right now, it looks like they retconned it. One month away, ladies and gentlemen. So she's not only fighting the Inquisitor on this planet, she's also fighting the droids from Morgan Elsbeth as well.
Sometimes we have to do what's right.
Again, her in front of the mural, and the mural looks so good, by the way. It looks almost exactly the same as it did in Rebels. Ezra looks great in it.
Regardless of our personal feelings.
The Purgle. So this is how big the Purgle really are. I mean, this is their ship. This Purgle's enormous. But the Purgle look awesome in live action. We did get a kind of a tease at them in live action in the Mandalorian Season 3. But this is actually getting up close and personal with one, and we get to see them flying around fighting like in the tentacles of one too.
Buckle up.
If we don't stop Thrawn, everything
And there's our first look at Big Boy Thrawn, the GOAT himself.
will be in vain.
So this is where people are thinking that she's using the Force. Now maybe she's just lost her lightsaber. She's been disarmed, so she doesn't have the lightsaber. Maybe she is forcing it to her. Maybe she's trying to use the Force to keep Shin back. But this is the same forest planet that in the last trailer, Ahsoka was saying there's been a rumor of Thrawn being the heir to the Empire. So this happens on the same exact planet. Sabine and Ahsoka are both there. And so is Shin, because they're fighting there. And is she using the Force? We don't know.
You have no power.
But there's going to be some sick-ass battle
Power.
on this planet, and I can't wait for it.
Anakin.
So this was the same thing we saw last time, but this is a little bit different because Balin is saying, Anakin spoke highly of you.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
And if you listen very closely, you can hear Darth Vader fucking breathing.
Highly of you. Anakin spoke highly of you.
I'm not here.
And then this was the white planet with the white columns, the World Between Worlds, Jedi Temple planet that she comes out of that hole and is fighting droids. She's getting picked up by somebody, which I'm guessing is not Sabine yet because this is early on. But the planet is exploding.
To discuss my past.
Or at least being bombed, or something's happening here where this Jedi Temple is gone. And maybe actually Ahsoka booby-trapped it or something because she didn't want them to be able to get to the World Between Worlds. Maybe she booby-trapped it herself, or maybe it's just being bombed by somebody else.
We have a lot of work to do.
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
And at least from this scene, we're supposed to think that Hera's with the two of them.
We have a lot of work to do.
Once a rebel,
So that means this is the cockpit of the Ghost, by the way.
always a rebel.
And this is not, so this is not the same scene. But I'm hoping we get to see all the Ghost crew back on the Ghost. That would be awesome. I mean, come on. Oh, I'm so excited. 1 month, ladies and gentlemen. 1 month. Should we just go to sleep for the next month and wake up and just watch it? I can't wait for the watch parties. We are 1 trillion% doing watch parties, so don't you dare worry about that. But the best part about this is the poll is still at 100% of you guys are excited for Ahsoka. That's always great to see, even in the small community that we have. Everybody is excited. But let's see what you guys thought about that trailer. Here we go. Star Wars Politics says, and then so the opening scene will be the opening scene of that trailer where Balin and Shin are breaking Morgan Elsbeth out of that New Republic ship, which will be so badass. And then it cuts to Ahsoka at that Jedi Temple. That would be awesome. Swagger Like Us says, I bet 90% of the Ahsoka footage is in the first 2 episodes. Yeah, so that's kind of what they do with trailers, is they just put all the footage that we see in the first 2 episodes. Here's the thing, though. How is that possible? There's no way that all the footage that we just saw, from the breaking out of Morgan Elsbeth to the blowing up of that Jedi Temple to Sabine having long hair to Sabine having short hair at different times of Ahsoka going to see Sabine, also seeing Hera Syndulla talking to the New Republic, also seeing Hera Syndulla talking to Ahsoka, also seeing Sabine and Ahsoka going to that Purgle, also seeing them go to fight Balin in that weird star map thing. There's no way that all that could just happen in 2 episodes. And if it does, this is going to be the greatest show ever. If it's that jam-packed, if there's no filler episodes, that's all people complain about with The Mandalorian, with any other Star Wars show, with any other Marvel show, with any other show, is that there's filler episodes. If this has no filler episodes, if it's all just straight banger for 8 episodes straight, it'll be the greatest show. Not just Star Wars, greatest show ever. Because Mando Season 2, just as a season, is probably one of the greatest seasons of any show ever. Not just Star Wars, any show ever. And maybe that's just biased because I'm a big Star Wars fan, but, you know, whatever I say is a fact, and we know that. We know that. I don't think Balin and Shin know Thrawn. I don't think they know Thrawn, but they know of his power. They're not like, they know him enough to want to go save him, if that makes any sense. Maybe it's the power triangle between Ahsoka, Dark Jedi, and Thrawn. Maybe I can see that. That has to be Kanan's lightsaber. So yeah, people are saying that Shin is using Kanan's lightsaber. Now, Kanan has a very iconic lightsaber where it twists apart and it goes into 2 parts because he always has one part behind him and one part like on his side or whatever, and he puts them together when he goes to fight. And it does look very, very similar, but I'm not sure if it actually is, but maybe you're right. Aim Punch says, I love Sabine's bomber jacket. Yeah, me too. It looks great. Swagger Like Us says, I heard someone suggest the Inquisitor footage is a flashback before the time jump. We fans never got closure regarding Ahsoka's whereabouts during the original trilogy. That's true. I think that will be explained as to where Ahsoka's been through the original trilogy. The original trilogy is like 3 whole years, and her master is the Darth Vader. He's the guy who's like destroying the whole galaxy. So you'd think her being Fulcrum, her working with the rebels before the original trilogy, she'd want to continue that work. However, she did die to Vader, but I don't know. I hope they do explain where she's been during the original trilogy, for sure. BB units look like soccer balls. Yes, they do. Star Wars Politics says, what if they are messing with us like Marvel does? Interesting. They could make it look like she doesn't have the white robes in the trailer, but she really does. See, I would like that. I would like that a lot, actually. Marvel does that all the time. People know this. Infinity War is probably the biggest example of that. There's a clip in the trailer for Infinity War where you have the Hulk and all these other heroes fighting or rushing somewhere to fight on Wakanda, but that's not in the movie because the Hulk is not in the Wakanda fight. He's there, but he's not the Hulk. So there's many times where they've done that, where there's fake scenes in the trailers that don't actually exist in the show or movie. So maybe that's what they're doing here. Maybe Ahsoka is actually in those white robes. It's not that far-fetched. It's not that far-fetched. Swagger Like Us says, I got to admit, these Mandoverse spin-offs have perfectly translated our favorite from animation to live action. That's true. They've done Sabine great so far, at least from what we've seen. They've done Ahsoka great. They've done Bo-Katan great. Who else? Is that it? I don't know. But yeah, they've done an amazing job bringing these animated characters to live action. Zeb looks amazing in The Mandalorian Season 3, and I hope he's in Ahsoka. I do hope he's in Ahsoka. Aim Punch says, she's telling Shin to take to talk to the hand. No, she's saying like Kylo Ren, join me. She's holding out her hand. Austin says, how do you say that guy's name? I don't remember. Is it Hang? Yuang? I don't know. But I do know who you're talking about. The droid is our favorite lightsaber instructor. That's true. He's from the Clone Wars. I just don't remember how to say his name. Swagger Like Us says, in Rogue One, Donnie Yen's character might not be Force sensitive, but the Force is his greatest ally throughout the film. Yeah, the blind guy. So yeah, when he's like, I am one with the Force and the Force is with me. That is interesting. Yeah, I don't know. The Force is an interesting concept for sure. Sabine might be tapping into the Force ability like a religion. That's true, but she's also had training from Ahsoka. Yeah, because Mando Season 2 was the best because they brought back Bo-Katan, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, and Luke Skywalker. That's true. People are like, oh, it's just a cameo fest. Those characters are very important to the story of The Mandalorian Season 2. It's not like they just threw those characters in there for fun. They actually tell a story. And it's not fan service when they're main characters of the storyline. Like, Luke Skywalker is a main character in Star Wars. The fact that he didn't show up before that made less sense. But I agree. I agree. Oh yeah, let's look at this. So this is some concept art that was released. And this is the one that was released for Morgan Elsbeth's ship, or Thrawn's ship. So that's kind of like what it looked like in the trailer, of course. But it looks like maybe Thrawn standing there. It's hard to tell, but it does look very, very cool. It looks like the inside of like a watch or a clock or something. But it does look very, very cool. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Everything is awesome. I don't know why that song's stuck in my head, but it is, and I'm not liking it. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. All right. Have you heard the thing about Darth Revan in the like genderless Darth Revan thing? Yeah, that's a whole thing, but that's for a different stream, I guess. All right, we're at an hour 30. This flew by. I mean, I could talk about Ahsoka for generations, and maybe we will, but we got 1 month until the Ahsoka show. World Between Worlds, New Beyond, all of these characters being brought from animation into live action. It's been an amazing stream with you guys. I've had so much fun speculating and talking about Ahsoka and stuff like that. And when we have off days like this where there's not much news going on, we can talk all about Ahsoka all we want because there's only a month until Ahsoka comes out. I am going to Fan Expo Boston if you guys are around the Boston area or in and around the Boston area, or if you're going to Fan Expo yourself, tell me, because we can meet up there. We can have some fun there as a community or stuff like that, whatever you want to do. But I get to meet Hayden Christensen. I get to meet Rosario Dawson, and those two are at the top of the list because I need to ask them. I need to ask them something specific. I need to be like, hey, I need to ask them something they'll be willing to give up because I'm just one guy and they don't know that I have a YouTube channel where I can be like, hey guys, guess what? I just heard from Hayden Christensen. He's going to be in Ahsoka. No, like I need something that he will answer. That's like a kind of a spoiler about Ahsoka, but I have to know like, wait, are they both at the same time? No, I'm meeting them both separately, I believe. Meeting them both separately. They're their own different stations, signing autographs and stuff. So yeah, I'll have two questions to ask, and they'll have to be good ones. One for Rosario, one for Hayden, and they got to be good. They got to be good. Got to be good. Ask him what time frame he would like to return. No, I want to ask him something Ahsoka specific. I want to know early. Like, is he going to be a Force ghost? And if he like smiles and laughs and doesn't tell me, I'm going to know it's true. I'm going to be like, ha ha ha, gotcha. Yeah. But other Star Wars characters I'm going to get to meet voices for Clone Wars characters. Like, I believe Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka. So Ashley Eckstein, Matt Lanter, blanking on Obi-Wan's name right now. The guy who voices Obi-Wan, he's funny. I forget his name. And I think D. Bradley Baker is also going to be there. He voices all the clones and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast, but other than Star Wars people there, like there's the voice of Mario, the voice of Bowser, the voice of Peach, there's Office characters. Like, it's going to be awesome, so it's going to be a blast. Gonna be a blast. Yeah. I want to know what era he would like to return in. He won't answer that. I know he won't answer that, but I'm going to come up with something to like make him answer without like him knowing that he's answering a spoiler kind of thing. Like, I got to craft the question in a specific way, you know? Dennis says, Ezra will have new Force powers from the leaks. Yeah, so that was another thing we didn't really get to talk about today that we could talk about on a future stream when we have more time to delve into it. But Ezra doesn't have his lightsaber. He left it with Sabine. So he has to find other ways to fight in the New Beyond without his lightsaber, and he has these new Force abilities that are kind of like karate meets Force. It's going to be cool. Swagger Like Us says, give me a vintage Luke scene and Ahsoka and the Clone Wars Snips and Anakin scene. Can't wait for Ahsoka. Yeah. So maybe I'll get like some signed autograph stuff from Hayden and Rosario. Maybe I can get 2 of them or something like that, and we could do giveaways of signed stuff from Hayden and Ahsoka. No guarantees that I can get multiple copies of their signatures and stuff like that, but of course I want to keep at least one copy of them because signed Hayden Christensen stuff is wild, and Rosario Dawson and all the Rebels cast, Clone Wars cast as well. So hopefully I can get multiple of them because I'll be like, hey, look, I got a small channel. I'm trying to do a giveaway. Could you sign 2? And also spoil the entire Ahsoka show for me? Thanks. No, but yeah, we'll try and do that because hopefully by that point we'll be able to do giveaways. This is happening the first weekend of August, like August 4th and 5th or something like that. So yeah. Let's see what the poll gave out at. Still 100%. You guys are the best. 100% of you guys are excited for Ahsoka, and that makes me even more excited. But I'm going to get on out of here. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for sticking around with me. What a great stream. This was one of my favorite streams of all time, I think. We had a bunch of fun. We had a bunch of people here talking, having a fun little time with our community. And yeah, watch out for a video tomorrow at 5 p.m. It will be a premiere. So we will be premiering it up. I'll be there in the live chat at 5 p.m. I'll be there a few minutes early even, and we can talk about that video. It's all about Disney being bought by Apple because that's insane. and it's a video all about that, and we can talk about it in the live chat there if you guys want to come by that video at 5 p.m. tomorrow. And then, of course, live streams Tuesday, Thursday. Watch out for other videos next week. We'll talk about it more. And, of course, as always, smash a like on this video, hit subscribe, and hit that bell. Don't forget to smash a like on this video, hit subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and my pretty face will show up in the recommended feed of yours. I love you guys, too, Austin. Swagger Like Us says, sounds like an awesome event, Mike. Get some pics with Hayden. I will. I will try my best. I will try my best. I'm hoping it won't be too packed, and I know it will because there's so many of us crazy Star Wars fans. But yeah. May the Force be with you. Always. Where's that stupid button? There it is. Okay. What a great stream. What a great show. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for sticking around with me. Having a great rest of your evening. Have a great rest of your lives. And good night, everybody.